Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Pretty Handy Girl workshop series. Today I wanted to show you one of my favorite tools. It is a power tool and it is called the Sliding Compound Miter Saw. The reason why it's called sliding is because it slides back and forth in order to handle more material. I think this one is a 10-inch and it can handle up to 12 inches wide boards. It is a miter because it can do angled cuts. It's a compound saw because it can also do angles this way. So it can cut at an angle like that. It can also cut angles like this. So it's compound. It can do a miter and a bevel at the same time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make a cut using the miter saw. The first thing you want to do is you want to look over your wood and make sure that there's no staples or nails or anything in it. There usually aren't if you buy new lumber, but this is actually a piece of reclaimed lumber that we had lying around, so I just want to take a quick look at it. Also look for knots too and try to plan my cuts around the knots. Usually you would be measuring and make a mark where you want to cut. My saw actually has a laser line on it. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it puts a line on here so I know exactly where the saw is going to cut. There actually is like an 1/8 of an inch width that the saw blade will take up. So I know for this saw that the line is going to be for this side of the material, and then there's going to be an 1/8 of an inch less on the other side. You want to put the material right up against the fence. I'm actually going to move it down this way a little bit. My saw actually has this little clamp for supporting the material. This is really good, especially if you're making a cut where you don't have enough room to hold your hand. You don't ever want to cross your arm over to hold. You really want to keep your hands as far away from the material as possible. If you were cutting a larger piece, you could put your hand down here to hold and use this hand for the saw. But because I'm cutting a smaller piece, I'm going to keep my hand well enough away from the saw, and the wood, and I'm going to let the clamp hold on to my piece of lumber. So I'm going to go ahead and have my safety glasses on, and I'm going to go ahead and put my ear protection on. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my cut. I'm going to push this button to start the saw, and then there's a trigger that I'm going to pull. What I'm going to do is once I pull that, I'm going to let the saw get up to speed. I make sure that it's going as fast as it possibly can rotate. Then I'm going to slowly plunge the cut into the wood. And I'm not going to force the saw blade. I'm going to let the saw just kind of cut through the wood, and should be good to go. So here we go. I never reach for the wood until the saw has come to a complete stop. Then I'll go ahead and remove it and remove this piece. And it makes a nice clean cut. If I did want to cut an angle, I would go ahead and adjust my saw. Each saw is different. Mine, you have to turn this knob, push this button, and then you can actually turn your angle, and I do have a guide on here for what angle this is at. I'm going to go ahead and take my next piece of wood. I'm going to put it in there. And again, I'm going to use my guard to hold it down, especially because there's not much room left on here. One thing about miter saws, you never want to cut like right on the end of the material. That's when you can have the piece that's being cut fly around on you, especially if it gets caught in the saw. So I'm going to go ahead and again let my guard do the work holding it, my clamp, and I'm going to make another cut, this time at an angle. Wait till the blade stops, then remove my piece of wood. That's that's basically it for the miter saw tutorial. One thing I did want to mention is that power tools are dangerous. It is really important to read your manual. Make sure you know how your saw works. Just because mine has a button here and a trigger doesn't mean yours does. Know about all the safety features. Take your time. Make sure you guys have had enough to eat so you're not like kind of lightheaded and not thinking clearly. It is really a good idea to be a little bit afraid of a power tool. The more comfortable you become with it, sometimes you get lazy and you get fast, you think you know what you're doing. That's usually when accidents happen. So it is good to have a healthy fear of a power tool. That's okay. Don't let that fear, make you freeze up where you're not thinking, but just, be a little bit afraid of it. That's a good thing. So I hope you guys like this tutorial, and I hope you guys will, maybe add a miter saw to your workshop, or if you already have one, go ahead and try it out sometime. It's a nice tool to have. It makes cuts a lot quicker than doing the handsaw. So good luck, guys, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye.